are in the BMW GT4s, which are obviously great fun. But Austin, it's always a way with endurance racing, is the faster cars trying to negotiate the slower cars, and we saw problems with that at Spa. But I think this track is a little bit narrower, so I think it's going to provide even more of a challenge.
Yeah, it absolutely should work right now. And the challenge, especially here around Magus, Beckett, and Chapel, as we're watching Yalma Territo go right through there right now in his GT4. It's going to be very challenging. And the GT4 versus the GT3 is very different.
Yeah, it especially is the GT3s are a little bit quicker than, well, actually much quicker than the GT4s, and the GTEs are another step up from that. So currently, first laps of qualifying coming in. They've got 3 laps of qualifying to try and set their best lap. So currently, it's Jordan Kelly, nearly 4/10 of a second faster than that would be Peter Dempsey in the number 3. There's 2 Dempseys on the timing tower. It'll be Peter in the number 3 and Keith in the number 9, and then Brian McManus currently sitting in P3. Jordan Kelly, the championship leader by a margin of 23 points. Which is not a hell of a lot, but Jordan has been incredibly consistent. And up to this point, we've had a different winner at every round this season so far. Brian McManus winning in the dying moments of Spa after a number of issues for the leader. Actually, I think it was Josh Malin who was actually out in the lead at that time, who disconnected with 5 laps to go. McManus came through and took the win. Race stewards for today: Sean McGinley, Rob King, and Niall Maher. As always, keeping an eye on proceedings. Of course, all these drivers have a digital Motorsports and Irish Motorsport Ireland digital racing license, which they've got to hold on. They've got to make sure they keep it clean. And stewards' investigations are always great fun. With GT4 class as well, you'll see them in the blue on the timing tower. Pros in the red. It's currently Alex Denning leading that championship, and he's currently actually sitting on the pole. But the winning streak of Alex Denning was broken 2 weeks ago in Spa. Alex had won every single round up to that point, with Dave Maguire actually came out and took the win in Spa. But Alex still in firm control of the championship, and considering his worst round was second so far, Austin. I don't think he's going to be too displeased that he can't drop any bad scores now.
Indeed. And well, one bad race, and unfortunately, there goes all your drop weeks, and that's kind of the curse of having a drop week. You can kind of have that as a cushion, but when you actually have one bad race that you need that drop week, you got to be on top of your game every single week in, week out, and it's a uphill battle for you.
Yeah, exactly. So we're coming to the end of qualifying now. Jordan Kelly still on pole on a 155. I think he's helping everyone with OCD there. 155 dead, and Dave Maguire has actually just nipped Alex Denning to the pole for GT4 at the moment by just 0.2 of a second. But Alex, I think, is still out on another lap around here. You can see the pace differential there. You see the GTEs are on 1 minute 55s, and the fastest GT4 time is 2:11. 0.9. We're using the Grand Prix layout of Silverstone, which is obviously the most well-known one. Dave obviously very happy with his lap. There's still a few minutes left to go, and 10-lap sprint races. How about this man, Tom Ingram? This is a great qualifying for him. He's 0.02 of a second quicker than Brian McManus, and Tom Ingram, vastly experienced in the British Touring Car Series, but never really gets qualifying quite right. But today, this is a really good showing. And well, I guess Austin, he's a
I think it
British
is one off
driver.
track.
He loves it. Yeah, he did get an off track there, but he. the thing is, I guess he's a British driver. They all love Silverstone.
Oh yeah, Silverstone is a very popular track, especially in the UK and Ireland area. Well, UK, over there, Europe. I'm American.
Over there. Okay. I think you've just insulted the entire of the British Isles. Congratulations, Austin. That's fantastic.
This is what happens
Just,
when
just
you tag me at last minute.
exactly, and I'll give off. I'll let you off because you haven't slept. So we'll but yeah, it is a popular track basically with everyone around the British Isles. Especially just to prove our point, Josh Malin, British driver, currently now pole position by 700ths of a second over Jordan Kelly. And there is Peter Dempsey P3, as you can see, and his brother Keith in P4, Brian McManus P5, then Tom Ingram now to sixth, Wayne Douglas in P7. So the British driver is doing well today. Wayne Douglas, of course, is the team principal of Douglas Motorsport, who run a British Formula 3 team. And then there's Michael Devaney doing nicely in P8. Arturas Kundlis in P9 had a great podium last time out. And Rob Moore in P10. Peter McCann going well in P11 ahead of James Holmes. There's still a good few drivers still out on laps here. They might just about get to the end. Patrick McKenna, Nicky Meredith, and we still have Maguire on pole for GT4 Pro-Am class. That's great to see Dave nipping in for pole position. I think that'll be his first one of the season. I think Alex has taken every pole position so far, so that'll be good for him. Harry McGovern, P3. Chris McCann, brother of Peter McCann, in P4. Then Shane Connolly. This is Jao Montero we're looking at. Victor Cullen. And then Damien McMullen will be P8. Then we've a couple of others there. You have Nathan Healy. You've got Lawrence Dusoswa, P11. Mark Birney, and just a couple of others there. So yeah, there's a 13-car field of GT4s, and they're very competitive. But Josh Malin has managed to secure pole position for this first sprint race, and this is going to be really intriguing because I didn't quite see the format. But usually the second sprint race is reverse grid, so it is incredibly important that you get a good result here. But it's Josh Malin on the pole at home at Silverstone, Jordan Kelly, championship leader P2, Peter Dempsey in P3. Then Keith Dempsey in P4, Brian McManus, Tom Ingram, Wayne Douglas, Michael Devaney, Arturas Kundlis, and Rob Moore in P10. Peter McCann, P11, James Holman in P12. Then Patrick McKenna, Nicky Meredith, Richard Faulkner, Richard Lyons, Rob Barable, RAC Mantis, Niall Murray, and Rory O'Shea in P20. Thomas Series, Jason Cooper down in 22nd, Sergio Graben, David Yamamoto in P24. Cycling down to the back of the pro grid, Tony Stack, Ian Malone, Adam Dowling, Dave Collier, Owen Murray, and Ronan Hederman. On the pole for GT4s, Dave Maguire and Alex Denning, Harry McGovern, Chris McCann, Shane Connolly, Kevin Shine. And then further down, Jean Montero, Victor Cullen, Damien Mullen, Evan Griffin, Lawrence DeSalzman, Mark Birney, Nathan Healy, Evan Walsh is somehow in the middle of that in a pro car. That's going to be fun to watch. Thomas Seabius in P45. Brendan Stone, Rob King is not part of the grid. He is one of the stewards today. But yeah, Austin, two pro cars at the very back of the GT4 field. That might end a bit messy.
It absolutely is going to be a bit messy, especially if those faster cars moving up through the field. They're going to have to play it a little bit safe because you might be in a fast car, but these guys up in front of you, very different pace and very different handling cars in front of you, and you just got to pick where you have to send in, and especially you have to stay very clean because it is get to the end, you first must finish. And
exactly.
These guys in the back going to have to. They have a lot on the plate.
Yeah, for sure. Great shots of Silverstone here, in the middle of Northamptonshire, Northamptonshire, in the UK. But we'll see how the pros are going to handle getting through past the GT4s. But Josh Malin will lead them to the line. I think they just start just before Stowe, I believe. So follow the pace car. Pace car will peel off to the right-hand side. Josh Malin was robbed of a victory in Spa last time out. Let's see if he can redeem himself today. He controls the pace with Jordan Kelly right alongside him. Josh Malin, very experienced driver, drives Ginetta GT5s in the UK. Here we go. When's he going to go? I think he's going to go now on the exit of this corner. Just going to hold the inside. Look at and immediately Peter Dempsey up the inside. That's a brilliant start from Josh Malin. Green flag waves here in Silverstone for round number 5 of the championship. Josh Malin leads. Peter Dempsey taking full advantage into P2. Jordan Kelly P3 and Keith Dempsey follows in P4. Side by side here between Wayne Douglas and Michael Devaney as they come through turn number 1. That's with Kundlis. Sorry, first Kundlis just getting behind him there, and then Rob Moore P10. Cycling through as they come up through. James Holman past Peter McCann for P11, trying to nip up the inside of Rob Moore for P10 as well. And he manages to get in front there. Thomas Series making his way through. And they all file through nice and cleanly so far. Nothing too nasty between everybody as we go and we see a couple of moves further up between a couple of those guys, but they've kept it very, very clean on lap number 1 as they file through Brooklands for the first time. Richard Lyons trying to go around the outside there as they come through Luffield for the first time, but all nice and clean. But Josh Malin, Austin, he absolutely nailed that start.
Malin went extremely early, heading through Club Corner, which caught out Kelly off there, and which allowed Dempsey to jump up there. And, well, what an amazing! Oh my goodness, coming out of, well, heading out of Woodcott, that is Richard Lyons into the wall, and there was another car involved with him that might have been Robert Moore.
Yeah, we just quickly cut to that shot of him going backwards into the wall of Woodcote. I would imagine that they probably tried to go side by side into Cops Corner. Here's now the battle for the lead in GT4. Dave Maguire up the inside retakes it from Alex Denning. And these guys are really, really fighting out for the championship now. Alex is clear in front, but Dave Maguire is on a run of momentum now as Denning tries to find his way through. You can see Harry McGovern lashed in there too as they come through. Maggots and Beckett's and Chappell for the first time. Denning gets into the back of him. Oh, Dave Maguire into the wall. Maguire's into the wall. Contact, he got caught by Alex Denning in the rear. That might be looked at by the stewards, but that's now put Alex Denning into the lead. That's such a shame for Dave. He was running so well, took pole and took the lead back off him, but now it gets cycled back with damage down to P4. But Denning now leads. Harry McGovern is second. Chris McCann is into third. And these guys now come through. Jordan Kelly having problems up front. You can see him dropping. Now he's the championship leader in P7, and you can see these guys. Yeah, those guys are fighting through. What's happened to Jordan Kelly? I think he might have had to slow down, but he's getting absolutely swamped. He's got to slow down. Look at this as he goes through. Devaney is past. Arturas Kundalis is past. It's disaster for the championship leader. He cannot afford this to happen right now because Josh Malin is his closest rival, and he's in the lead, Austin.
He might have cut the corner at Abbey just a little bit too sharp, and he's using the straight to serve that slowdown penalty. You have 36 seconds to serve a slowdown penalty before a iRacing initiated black flag will be given to you, which would be a drive-through penalty or stop-go, depending on how hard you cut that corner at. But Jordan Kelly, very disastrous, down into 11th right now in the pro category, and well, he's got a lot of work out ahead for him. From a great start to just, sour taste in the mouth.
Yeah, exactly, especially since his championship rival is up in the lead, and the gap between them in the championship is 23 points, and there's no more drop rounds, so you cannot afford to have a poor round. James Holman running well in P9 at the moment, with Nicky Meredith chasing him down, and Arturas Kundalis up ahead of him in P8. Arturas, of course, we always like to mention driving on hand controls, and he managed to grab a podium last time out in Spa, so always great to see him out. James Holman, lap 1 instant between cars number 99 and 111. That is the instant between Dave Maguire and Alex Denning. Is under investigation, so we'll see if anything comes about by that. And we'll see now on board with Nicky Meredith. Took a win in the Pro 2000 series last time out, or in the last series. In, I believe, it was Road Atlanta he managed to get, no, Road America he managed to get him. Nicky Meredith now lashed onto the back of James Holman, heading towards Abbey, and he's going to have to wait as they come through. Again.
Seems Nicky Meredith going around there, but that Abbey has a very high tolerance for corner cutting, but if you do get over about halfway in there, you will get that corner cut penalty.
Yeah, we saw plenty of track limits penalties given out at Spa, drive-through penalties changing the race. But I think it could also come into effect here with the races. May just not be long enough. So Nicky Meredith is going to have a go into Brooklands. Holman just defends it a little bit. That's great stuff, James Holman.
Holman placed his car exactly where he needed to be to defend that move. Absolutely nothing wrong right there. As now Kelly's onto the gearbox of Meredith right there.
Yeah, he's climbing his way back now because Meredith and Holman are fighting it out as they come through. James Holman, again, he was another one who was robbed of a podium in Spa. I think he just got turned around in the dying lap of the race, but he obviously wasn't best pleased with that. But he's running well again in P9. Nicky Meredith running well there. Jordan Kelly trying to recover after that one mistake has cost him big time. But Josh Malin comfortably in the lead, 1.8 seconds ahead of Peter Dempsey in P2. Brother Keith is in P3. McManus still hanging in there in P4. And Tom Ingram, again, just hanging in there in P5. and just catching up to the back of McManus. Actually, you can see him in the background there. But he also has Wayne Douglas for company in P6. Wayne Douglas is also a race winner in Digital Motorsports from the previous Pro 2000
Ooh.
series. Tom Ingram hops the curb big time in those BMW M8s, and the curbs, Austin, absolutely vicious when you hit them.
Yeah, those curves send you up onto two wheels, kind of make you feel like a motorcycle racer. But yeah, if you hit those curves just a little bit too hard, you will be getting not only bodywork damage from there, but there is a chance you could get suspension damage if you hit a curb at the wrong angle. And you definitely don't want to do that, especially if you're Tom Ingram and Wayne Douglas or any of these GTEs. It was around the outside, Kelly on Meredith. Kelly's got a good line through the loop, heading into Aintree. Side by side they go down the Wellington Straight. It's going to be a drag race here at Silverstone between these two drivers. For 10th place, Jordan Kelly, Nicky Meredith, side by side, heading into Brooklands. Kelly trying to hold it around to the outside and get the inside line on left field, side by side, and he gets pushed off the track. As right behind him, a car went spinning around. That was Burble.
Yeah, Rob Barble sends spinning in the background, but yeah, great defense from Nicky Meredith there, just shutting the door on Jordan Kelly just immediately. But now Jordan's going to be getting frustrated behind. He clearly has the pace to get past, but now he's going to have to try. You have to think about it into cops. But that's not a place you can really do it. There's a couple of investigations going on for various things. I think there was the incident between Richard Lyons and Rob Moore maybe under investigation. As again, he has a look into Vaggots and Beckett's. But it's so tricky to find any kind of space. And even in that small battle, you can see Holman and Cundalis have broken away from them. And Jordan needs to make headway, because we're almost at the halfway point of the race already. And he needs to get a good spot for race number 2. Here he comes in the slipstream towards Stowe Corner. But is he close enough? He's going to have a look on the brakes. He thinks about it, but again, Meredith shuts the door.
He's going to be trying to scare him, trying to make him do some mirror driving, maybe send one into Vale. But as they head into there, he's just a little bit too far away. Gives him a little bump mid-corner, trying to say, come on, man. And I think he's just giving a little bit of chance before we're going to see maybe a move head into Village, and we might see another move trying to head through Brooklands again. But Nicky Meredith doing nothing wrong. Racing their own race, not being distracted at all from the charging Jordan Kelly. So they go extremely wide, defending down to the inside into Village. Kelly's going to try to take that on the outside and go for the switchback. Nice move by Nicky Meredith. And once again, they switch back again through the loop.
Oh, this is brilliant defense from Nicky Meredith. This is the display of how you defend fairly but hard. Here he comes now towards Brooklands for the 5th time. Jordan tries to go to the inside, and again he gets covered off on the inside. But now Jordan brave around the outside of Brooklands. This time he has the space. No, he gets shut in the door again, but he has space for Luffield this time. Around the outside goes Nicky Meredith. They almost make contact. They're side by side, running down towards Cops Corner, but I think Meredith's still in front, Austin.
Meredith went a little bit wide, got a lot of speed heading out of Luffield and into Woodcock. That was how they were able to keep that move as we head into Cops Corner. Watch out for Jordan Kelly heading into Magus Megas and Chapel. I think we might see a dive down to the inside into these S's, and we are going to see that side by side as they go entering onto the curbs. Goes Meredith and Kelly. Both these guys on the absolute limit right here at Silverstone.
Look at this. You can see Jordan was almost pushing him on the exit of Chapel. Here we go now towards Stowe Corner. Again, he has another opportunity, but this is fantastic racing between these two. Jordan looks at the inside, surely going to try. But again, Meredith is just later on the brakes, and there's nothing he can do. He hasn't got the run he needs towards Vale, so he may have to hang behind. Oh, the problem for Peter Dempsey. In second place, he spun it.
No, there's another car. It might have been a GT4 involved with Peter.
Mark Burney has damage on the front of the car, so I'm assuming there could have been contact between those two. But even so, we might be able to see.
Lights heading into Vale from the cars ahead. And Peter just sends it in there very abruptly. And, well, Mark just had damage. He just got turned around on his own. So I think that might have been 2 separate incidents on there, but involving the same cars for both of them. I think what happened might have been he was approaching a slower corner and he just didn't want to wait, send it in there, got onto the curb, and around he went. And whoa, traffic jam! Oh my goodness!
Big one there between
Richard
a number
Faulkner.
of cars. Yeah, Richard Faulkner, and I think there was another car that got turned around there, but main one, Richard Faulkner, facing the wrong way after big contact. But you can see the battle. I think Jordan Kelly has eventually managed to do it. He's ahead of Meredith on the timing tower, and he's eventually got it done. But this is the battle. Denning has lost the lead of GT4. Harry McGovern is your new leader.
Yeah, Harry McGovern going to be very happy about that, as we got a replay right here on how he got that lead, just going wide. Alex Denning through Max Bexley Chapel, and unfortunately just falls back to second, but he's still up there in the fight. He's still up there in the draft. He's already flashed in the lights, trying to get play some games as McGovern defends it way down to the inside, heading into Vale, around to the outside. Alex Denning, he gets pushed off onto the curbing. Elbows are coming out here in this 20-minute race as we're just past halfway. Denning in the lead. Denning following McGovern. Christopher McCann, your top three in the GT4.
Yeah, top two have run away with it. Chris McCann is nearly 6 seconds back. That's a lap car behind is Damien McMullen in that 13th spot. And I think he's looking to the inside. He gets covered off. Denning really wants this. He lost the race last time out in Spa. Here he comes now. McGovern is second in the championship now with the cutback line. Denning, very experienced racer. We just saw I think there was contact between Wayne Douglas and Tom Ingram up the front, because they're now P11 and P13. So that's been a big problem for them, because Michael Devaney is into P4 and Cundall is P5. So there's been a number of position changes, but we stick with the battle for the lead in Pro-Am. McGovern covers it off on the inside, but will that give him too shallow of a run? I don't think so. I think he's covered that off very nicely. But they are getting caught by our leader, Josh Malin. Denning is pushing him through Luffield. And it seems Denning just has the pace. But McGovern defending very nicely as they come up now.
Josh.
But here comes Josh Malin, the leader.
He's going to catch him before Cops, but we might see a pick and roll from Denning, just allowing him, and he does get a good line through there. McGovern did have to hold out that line, take a little bit of a wider entry, but both of them just kind of caught out the wrong moment to really try anything from Cops. But sometimes when this lap traffic starts catching you, the leaders, it might present an opportunity to use that faster car as a little bit of a pick and roll. And I gotta say, if the faster cars are catching them through the village and that area up there, it's going to be very useful for the GT4 as
Keith Dempsey having to do a bit of a zigzag through both of them there, but he's now P2. Is Keith, after his brother unfortunately launched up the inside of GT4 and spun. Jordan Kelly made a double overtake on that last lap, by the way. He's back up to P5. Good recovery from Jordan Kelly, and he's trying to catch up to the back of Michael Devaney. Lap 2 incident, drive-through penalty for car number 35. I think that was the incident we saw in the pro class. Jason Cooper. Okay, so drive-through for Jason Cooper. Car number 35. But there's a big old battle going on. Jordan Kelly at the head of this train. Then you got James Holman, Arturas Kundalis, and Nicky Meredith. So we've been watching this battle for the whole race nearly. These guys have been nose to tail. No!
That was the leader!
The leaders in GT4 collided. They both collided. Denning's off and McGovern's off. Where is Chris McCann? There he goes. As he tries to take the lead. Gets in front of Denning. Does he even get in front of Denning? No.
He's behind an entire pack of GTE cars. The two leaders are massively damaged. This is great news for McCann, as there's a massive GTE wasp nest trying to get past it. Turn and into the wall and straight into the paddock.
Oh my lord!
McCann
Chris
got
McCann
into the moon.
Oh my lord! Chris McCann has just been sent to space. Oh my god! Chris McCann. Please get a replay of that Tamale Kumo as we look at this again. This was the initial incident, and Denning just went straight into the back of him.
Denning just got onto the grass and just got into him. And then they get back onto track, and they're still racing out, heavily damaged. They just unfortunately get right in front of all these GTEs. There's a GT4 with them right now. Alex Denning still trying to nurse that damage, and then here comes the GTEs. The car goes, one of the GTEs goes out onto the grass behind him.
Yeah, here we go.
It
was Peter Dempsey. Peter Dempsey gets into him, bounces back across, and Chris McCann takes off. Have a look at that. Chris
Call out the
McCann.
Royal Air Force. That is not a unidentified flying object. That is a BMW GT4 that has just entered orbit.
But even after all that, Harry McGovern's still in the lead even after the contact by 8.9 seconds.
I
So
don't think
he's
McGovern knows what just happened behind him.
I don't think so, but this is going to be a big gain for him in the championship. He's P2 in the championship. Alex Denning, it's going to be a non-finish, so this will be a good gain
That
for
is
him.
disastrous. Absolutely
Uh,
disastrous.
Car number 15, car number 44. That's an incident between Wayne Douglas and Tom Ingram, I believe. No, car number 50 and car number 44. Car number 44 is Tom Ingram. So it's Davey Yamamoto and Tom Ingram, who we're just looking at now, just making his way through. Yeah, I think they've nearly emerged together, actually, but Tom Ingram looks like he's actually crabbing a little bit.
There is some suspension damage right there.
So coming through, there's Yamamoto. Oh, Tom's drifting his way through. How is he keeping that car going in a straight line? Tom Ingram's driving with a broken rear suspension. Have a look at that. And I mean, he is a real life racer. He's used to touring cars, but I mean, I've never seen a car crabbing quite like that and keeping it in a straight line. Fair play, Tom.
Yeah, that's very impressive to see Tom do that. The only time I really could see that is in Hollywood movies.
Yeah, exactly. Car number 3, car number 27.
He is struggling going through a few of these corners, but keep that car going in a straight line. It's hurting his top speed, but it's hurting his speed, but his cornering speed is definitely hurting, but his straight line speed doing all right.
I think he's just trying to nurse it at the end. We only have a lap to go with the next time by. And I think there was just an investigation popping up. Car number 3 and car number 27. Car number 3 is Peter Dempsey. And car number... Yeah, I'm assuming that's the car 27 investigate. We all know what that investigation for. Mark Burney, yeah, the contact between the two of them, which sent him spinning. We're on to the final lap, by the way, of the first race. We've got 2 of them to do, Austin, after this one. And Lawrence de Soswa P5 doing an excellent job there. He's got Griffin right behind him, though, heading into this last lap by. So we'll see if he's able to hold him off. But Harry McGovern, I think he's going to be counting his lucky stars. Jean Montero is going to be thanking everybody for that, because he's moving up to 2nd in this race. And Dave Maguire, who, remember, was involved in contact lap 1, he's the pole starter. He's now recovered to P3, so he'll be happy with everything that's happened. There he is. I don't think he pitted. He kept going with the damage, but he's going to be happy that he's at least been able to carry on, and he's not in space like Chris McCann is.
Yeah, I believe he just landed in pit lane right now, but I don't believe he's going to be coming out of this race back onto track. It's a lost cause if he comes back right now. He's multiple laps. He's a lap down already, and the only drivers, if he comes out right now, would be Evan Walsh and Rob King.
There he is. Chris McCann's returned. He's back out on the circuit. Yeah. Good lad, well, Chris.
Chris is back. And
yeah.
Well, he's not in last. He's in third
P11. Yeah, P11. But he's managed to get back going again. But meanwhile, if we can go back to our leader, Josh Malin, he's led every single lap of this race. Was robbed of victory in Spa. He's already flashing the lights as he heads down towards the last corner. Car number 2 and car number 17 is under investigation here, coming to the last corner, and the winning streak of new winners continues. Josh Malin comes to the last corner and wins the first race of the evening in Silverstone, and the winning streak continues in Silverstone. Keith Dempsey is 2nd, and Brian McManus, the winner last week or 2 weeks ago, he will cross the line for P3. Jordan Kelly, what a recovery that was, P4. Michael Devaney, James Holman, Arturas Kundalis, Nicky Meredith, Arias Imantas, and Wayne Douglas. And Harry McGovern, I think, should hang on for that GT4 victory.
Yeah, he's got a nice gap behind him, and Harry McGovern, probably the luckiest winner we would have this season. I know I haven't been keeping up with the series, but I've never seen an incident like that where both the leaders get involved and then everyone behind you that is in contention just gets wiped out behind you, and you just have no idea what's happening behind him. And Harry McGovern takes the win as, Dyson right there. Jason Cooper down to the inside. Simon's trying to hold it. Jason Cooper was the one that got very wide as Sergeant Grabon jumps up there to 24th in the very last corner.
Yeah, you see Jason Cooper and Thomas Sabis crossing the line. There is
Ooh,
Harry McGovern.
barrier.
He takes his first win of the season after all of the hardship he went through. Jean Montero will be P2. That's his first podium of the season. And Dave Maguire recovers to P3. Well, that was something else. Lap 8 incident between car number 3 and car number 2. I believe car number 2 is Alex Denning. So we'll have to wait and see the outcome of that. There's a number of investigations still ongoing, so the stewards are going to be very, very busy in these dying moments. You can see Mark Birney trying to get in front of Victor Cullen as they come through the last corner now. And I think that Mark is going to have to hang behind Victor as they come through the last corner, across the line. Brendan Stone will be P9, and Kevin Shine will cross the line for P14. Car number 3, car number 47. Peter Dempsey is under investigation quite a lot, actually. That car number 3 is in quite a lot of investigations. But
Yeah, I think we need to start having a counter how many times we've seen car number 3 pop up on the race stewards.
yeah,
The
he
race
might.
stewards are gonna be very busy today. I can tell you that though.
Yeah, exactly. But they've done a great job so far in the series. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, you are watching the BMW M4 and M8 championship, of course, sponsored by Mondello Park, Associated Motorsport Ireland. Here's your official results of the Pro-Am class. Harry McGovern is your winner. Jean Montero, Dave Maguire, Shane Conley, Lawrence DeSoswa, Evan Griffin, Victor Cullen, Mark Birney, Brendan Stone, Nathan Healy, Chris McCann, returning from space to P11, Alex Denning in P12, Damon Mullen, Kevin Shine are your class 5 finishers. Alex Denning also did get across the line to secure a finish. Here's your pro results. Josh Malin wins race number 1. Keith Dempsey is P2. Brian McManus in 3rd. Jordan Kelly P4. Michael Devaney, James Holman, Arturas Kundalis, Nicky Meredith, Arias Mantas, and Wayne Douglas. Then Peter Dempsey, who's under investigation quite a lot. Thomas Series, Niall Murray, Patrick McKenna, Rory O'Shea, Peter McCann, Robert Barwell, and Tony Stack. And then a few more to go. Adam Dowling, Tom Ingram with broken suspension cross the line for P20. Dave Collier, Ian Malone, Richard Faulkner, Sergio Grabban, Jason Cooper, Thomas Sebas, Richard Lyons, and Rob Moore. A few more down to go. Owen Murray, Ronan Hederman, Dave Yamamoto, and Evan Walsh was a non-starter actually in that race. So Evan didn't get off the line for this race. So, as I was saying, you are watching the BMW M4 and M8 Championship sponsored by Mondello Park and Association Motorsport Ireland. If you want to be in with a chance to possibly drive an M8 or an M4 around Mondello Park, which is Ireland's only FIA accredited circuit and is, of course, where digital motorsports are also based, you can check out the link in the description. And to give you an idea of what you could be driving, let's hear from Mondello Park. Welcome back to Silverstone. So if you want to be in with a chance for winning one of those driving experiences, you can check out the link in the description. If you're watching on iRacing Esports Network or on the Digital Motorsports YouTube channel or on Apex Racing TV, you can subscribe to the channel. Here is the grid then, and it is a reverse grid by the looks of it, because Wayne Douglas is on the pole for this one. Arias Mantas is second, Nicky Meredith, Arturas Kundalis, James Holman, Michael Devaney, Jordan Kelly, Brian McManus, Keith Dempsey, and Josh Mellon. It's a reverse top 10. As you can see, Keith Dempsey and Josh Mellon will be starting P9 and P10. Peter Dempsey in P11. Then Thomas Series in P12. Niall Murray, Patrick McKenna, Rory O'Shea, Peter McCann, Rob Barwell, Tony Stack, Adam Dowling, Tom Ingram, Dave Collier, Ian Malone, Richard Faulkner, Sergio Grabban. as they roll away from the line. Jason Cooper, Thomas Siebes, Richard Lyons, Rob Moore, Owen Murray, Ronan Hederman, and Davian Mutter will be starting in the middle of the GT4s as well. Harry McGovern on the pole for that one, then Jean Montero, Dave McGuire, Shane Conley, Lawrence de Soswa. And we get ready to go green now for race number 2. Wayne Douglas is on the pole for this one. Can we have
Oh, they're
another
already
new winner?
going.
And he's already gone as they come through the last couple of corners. Wayne has built a huge lead already as they come through the final quarter. And green flag for race 2 here in Silverstone. 10 more laps of craziness is on the cards. Wayne Douglas leads away. iRacing Mantis P2, Nicky Meredith in P3, Cundalis P4. Holman, Devaney, Kelly, Dempsey, McManus, and Malin all file through. Nothing untoward there. As you see, Devaney's already slow on the outside line. Has he had a problem? Slow down. Slow down, I think that is. Yeah, massive slow. I think he cut turn 1. He must have cut turn 1. As they come through, going to fall down all the way down to sure. And you can see moves going on. All the way
hit. That's Peter Dempsey.
Oh no.
Peter at the loop. Massive cars running into each other. We got BMW's missing hoods, BMW's missing bumpers, BMW's missing fenders, BMW's with massive dents that making them look like a Porsche.
Josh Malin's off the road as well. Josh Malin's gone off in that long left-hander before the Wellington straight. He's off the road with damage. Josh Malin is crabbing. Look, he's got damaged rear suspension. He's been collected somewhere. Disaster for the new, possibly championship contender.
Oh, the GT4s are right on their tails right now. The GT4s go being faster than all these guys. Massive crash at the start of the GTE field. And this is a massive story here at the start of race number 2 here at Silverstone.
But Josh Malin's got to try and limp this car back. He's got huge damage. How is he hanging on to that? Dave McGuire in the GT4s is leading that race, by the way, on board with Josh Malin. Have a look at this. This is scary. This is a scary part of the circuit. He's got to back off to let the GT4s through.
Oh, don't get into the grass, Josh.
How is he hanging?
He's gonna straight line it.
Yeah, that's the smart thing to do. I think try and just avoid everybody.
Escape road tarmac on the right side by the barriers. I visited there a lot practice, but Josh Malin taking the regular road.
How on earth is he keeping that in a straight line? We saw Tom Ingram get to the end on suspension damage. This is a new level of suspension damage. This is a hit.
The Michael Jackson Thriller twitch at the start.
He's really twitching really badly there. But now to update you on just where everybody is after lap 1, because that was just totally crazy. It's Wayne Douglas in the lead, Nicky Meredith is second, Arturas Cumberland is third, James Holman. Then we have Niall Murray into 5th, Umantis down to 6th. Jordan Kelly has survived. He's in P7. Thomas Series is P8. Patrick McKenna is P10. The Dempseys are nowhere because they were involved in that earlier incident.
Oh no!
Oh, Meredith! Meredith the spin. Another spin in the background.
We got a car rolling.
Oh no, huge.
Cars getting airborne just right in the racing line. Cars need to avoid this hard. Ingram almost comes across, gets T-boned by a car going off the track to try to avoid them into his path. And just chaos here in the pro category. And I would say the biggest mover right now, Niall Murray, is the luckiest driver in this pro category. Up 9 spots and up into 4th, and he has a chance. If something happens with the fight for 2nd, he has a chance to get up onto the podium.
I think that was Brian McManus sent barrel rolling. So that's really unfortunate for Brian. But now Arturas Cundalis is into P2. James Holman into P3. So Wayne Douglas is still your leader. So there's been a couple of switches around there. But it's still, there he is. You can see Cundalis in P2 on the hand controls. If you'd like to remind you, got a podium 2 weeks ago. Can he go for another one? Holman was robbed of a podium last time. Can he get one now? Niall Murray, he's won a race this year already. So can he be the first to keep it clean here?
They're definitely going to get a podium if they both keep it clean, but they need to keep the pace up because they have a 3-second gap that is closing down to Murray right behind him. But knowing these guys, they're going to race it out because these guys see the leader of Douglas right in front of them. They put their heads together. They could definitely catch up.
You see, Wayne Douglas has actually broken away by 3 seconds because of all the chaos behind him. So he's driving away now. Team principal of Douglas Motorsport and British Formula 3. He's out in the lead. Cundless is P2. Holman is P3. Looks to the inside of Brooklands. Holman will be hungry for a podium. He'll be hungry for a win, as will Cundless. And Niall Murray in P4. He's already got a win to his name this year already. He got it in Road Atlanta, so he's going to be happy where he is. Thomas Series in there, P6. Jordan Kelly, championship leader, trying to go around the outside as they come through the exit of Luffield. But much better so far from Kelly. His championship rivals are absolutely nowhere. He just needs to get across the line today to extend the championship lead in through Cops Corner and Series now. Let's have a look how many stewards investigations are going to pop up on our screen in the next couple of minutes. Car number 33 and car number 66. Seven from Austin Knight. Okay, 7 stewards investigations for this one race alone is the tip.
It's just one on lap 1, I believe. Multiple incidents, but inciting incidents probably 3.
Yeah, well, here we go. Jordan Kelly on Thomas Series. Here he comes down towards Stowe. Here is another one. There's number 2. That's Peter Dempsey again. Car number 3 is on the stewards investigation list, in the naughty list, should we say. A little twitch from Jordan. He comes down. He's got Peter McCartan actually chasing him down, a teammate behind him. Peter driving really well in P8. Rory O'Shea is right in there too in P9. So there's all of that is really shaking up the order of this race, which we always like to see. There's number 3. Car number 19, car number 15. So we don't even know what car numbers they are because they're so far down the field. So as they file through, you can see, I think there was a change for position between Murray and Yamantis. Murray has jumped ahead of Yamantis to the GT4 class. Dave McGuire is your leader.
McGuire is looking not turned around this time, and he definitely doesn't want to be by McGovern after last time by, especially behind him. Because it was McGuire that got onto the grass and spun both of them out, but McGovern took the win after McGuire was involved in a space launch.
Yeah, exactly. So Chris McCann, I think he hasn't been sent to space yet, but he's still been circling around Jordan Kelly into P6 now, passing Thomas Series for that position. So there is Josh Malin making his way past the leader of GT4. So of course, round 5 just happened a couple of minutes ago, and also our 5th different winner. Wayne Douglas would make it 6 if he crosses the line to win, which would be insane. 6 different winners this year in 6 rounds. So
that
can
shows
we?
You how competitive this series is with the amount of different winners. No one's really dominated the championship, and it's anyone's up for the anyone's championship up for the grab, especially with so many different winners within 6 races.
Yeah, and Jordan Kelly's in the lead of the championship because he's been the most consistent. And you can see now here, you can see Peter McCann having a great race today. He's behind Thomas Series, trying to follow his teammate Jordan Kelly here as they file through Stowe Corner. Can he try and nipple up the inside of Vale? He's looking, but he's not going to be able to quite pull alongside. They're going to be patient here for Peter. Yeah, he's just having a look here, almost pushing him through the last corner here, by heading up towards turn 1, towards Abbey. He's going to think about it. It's basically suicide to try and move into turn 1 here, but he files through Abbey, gets a little twitch on the entry actually, and a bit wide from Series as he comes through towards the loop. Now he's going to have to think about it again. He has to hang back, but he's got to be lining up now for Brooklands.
He definitely is trying to make a good run down Wellington Straight to get a good line heading into Brooklands. We've seen moves around the outside work and pulled out through Luffield, but it's a run out of Woodcock that he really needs to be looking forward to. So he just needs to be a little bit closer, but he's too far back now to try anything through Brooklands. And I would say that was a missed opportunity through the Village and the Loop. He just had a very bad exit on one of those curbs. He's going to try everything he can to get as close to Series, but Peter McCann still going to be stuck in 8th place. And we're halfway through this race right now, and that's going to be very hard. Back into the battle for 2nd between Cundadelis and Holman. Still battling out, and race stewards lap 2 incident between 19 and 15. And drive-through for car 19, Patrick McKenna. And yeah, McKenna's kind of worse for wears right now, driving that BMW without a entire front nose.
Yeah, that was the instant where Brian McManus was sent rolling in Brooklands. Car number 15, Brian McManus was the one who was sent upside down. He's back out on track in P24. Patrick McKenna rejoining and sending McManus into a roll in Luffield. So he has received a drive through
And this is
for that instance.
This is very bad for Patrick because the Silverstone pit lane is one of the slowest pit lanes in all of motorsports.
Yeah, and indeed, it's the pit entry line is very, very early on. You've got to crawl your way through. There's been a big twitch from Devaney and sends it around the outside. He has to run into the gravel.
Slow down for that. Watch out for this rejoin. He's going to be very close on Yamamoto. 3 wide coming through Vale and Clemeny off the track.
How keep it in the straight on. Oh no, that was silly. That was very silly. Coming through there.
And now Ronan Henderman is struggling. I think the race stewards are going to have their 5th report of this race.
Sergey round spinning in turn 1.
Sergey was just trying to avoid that. And Michael Devaney, I don't know. That was just...
Yeah, that was a bit of a silly instant from those guys, but Sergey totally innocent in that one. But he's managed to keep it in a straight line now into P19. But yeah, that'll be another one to add to the stewards list. But that was completely avoidable. Going 3 abreast to the last corner was never ever going to end well for that. But back to the GT4 is far calmer at this point.
Yeah,
Dave McGuire.
Yeah, the pro class and the GTEs is kind of like a barroom brawl. Everyone's just going at each other's necks, and someone just picked up a table, smashed it over somebody's grandmother. The GT4, they're all in the study, drinking a nice drink, reading a few books. No real craziness happening back here. Now race number 1, that was kind of different, but this is race number 2. They've learned the lesson.
You see now Chris McCann on his return from the moon is now trying to fight for P4. We'll see if he's able to get past Jean Montero, finish P2 in the last race. Alex Denning into P3. So he's trying to chase the leaders down. So we'll see if he's able to do that with only a few laps to go. But Chris McCann trying to get something out of today. If anything, he's made a legend of himself now. So at least he's got that to add to.
He's probably going to be making an appearance on the iRacing not top 10. I could probably say that because wow.
Lap 6 incident between. Oh, there it is. That's
3-car incident.
Yeah, that was our last corner incident that we saw between Sergey and between Michael and between Ronan. So that's under investigation for the collisions we see here. That's the move for second place. James Holman up the inside.
Let's see if we can get a GT4 in front of him, and then look around to the outside. That's a turn 3 car, and around the 66 GT4, 3 wide coming out of Luffield and into Woodcott. James Holman into second place, and behind him that is Dempsey, and he's just being a little bit of a pest, sending it onto that GT4. Gets caught in the crossfire. The 27 is that's Mark Burney right there, and now Murray is and Yomantis have caught up to these two, so we now have a 4-way fight for second place.
And that was all caused by the GT4 traffic just catching it in the wrong place. So now James Holman moves to second. Cundilis to P3, Niall Murray hanging on to P4, Yamantis closes back into P5, Jordan Kelly's now on the back of these guys as well. So there's a big fight. Peter Dempsey just trying to unlap himself from these guys, and he does make his way through past James Holman. More GT4s getting in the way. Holman to the inside.
Multiple cars heading into Vale on the edge of the corner. That GT4, there's a car around. That is more chaos happening, and is making his way through there. Jordan Kelly is up into third. Holman involved.
From him, Jean Montero was involved.
Cunadelis as well. Oh my goodness. Massive suspension damage for
Again for Holman. For Holman. Holman 2 weeks ago was taken out of second place, and again it's happened. Let's have a look at it again. It was just a total cluster heading in. Peter Dempsey cuts across the nose, gets turned, and then it was just a chain reaction from there.
chain reaction, and the biggest mover out of that, Arjus Dumanis up in a second, but Jordan Kelly was in the right place, right time. He's on the podium now, and your championship leader, that's how you get a championship, by finishing consistently and with a clean car, and he's now looking for second place as he's trying to chase down Arjus Dumanis in second place.
So we have the battle for second we have the battle for second in the pros, and just in the same shot is the battle for second in the GT4s. They file through. You can see McGovern and Denning. McGovern's off the road in the background there. You can see him in the car behind, and there is Alex Denning. Yeah, it's going to be sure they thought, here comes Alex Denning to Maggots and Beckett's. He's not going to be able to pull alongside through there, but he's got now an opportunity as they file through Maggots and Beckett's again. Denning trying to go for second. Peter McCann is into fifth place. There's McCann trying to go through. He gets caught up with the GT4s, and this is they're 5 wide coming down the straight. Oh, it's going to end in tears. They're dead. They're dead. They're dead. They're dead. That was never going to work. The leaders of GT4, the leaders of GT4 again. It's McGovern and Denning again, spinning around, getting caught up, and Chris McCann from space is going to lead, or into P2. Sorry, into P2. McGuire's out in McCann. What a legend!
Spaceman.
Chris McCann is.
Wow.
Yeah, Spaceman. Yeah. But he's managed to come through. That was absolute a total mess coming through there. 5 abreast. That was never going to end well, but it's ended well for Chris McCann. Who's now into P2.
Chris McCann, Jordan Kelly, very big movers, very lucky, absolute legends right now. And I think that was our 7th massive incident in this race.
Yeah, absolutely.
For your lottery numbers, I'll be over here.
Well, I'm over there. So we'll Nathan Healy, he's also benefited from this because he started last and he's now into P7. He's battling away with Damien McMullen. Always a good fight between these two. So let's see, Damien's got a good run heading up towards Abbey, pulls to the inside. This will be a fair race between these guys. Damien McMullen up the inside of Abbey. Nathan Healy trying to hang it all the way around the outside. Damien leaves him the space and Healy manages to hang on for now. So good job from those guys. Nice and fair between those guys. You'll always get a fair race between Nathan and Damien. But they managed to.
On both of them, they might have had a little bit of contact in a braking zone. I don't know, with each other, because the rear ends look fairly okay. They might have been caught up with a few GTE traffic as they were passing through, or a few other GT4s. Both of them deal with front end damage. As McMullen holding that outside line, Healy holding that inside line as they're headed into Brooklyn almost side by side into the braking zone, but McMullen decides it's not the best idea to go for it.
I tell you, a man who's also having a fantastic race is Rob Barble, now into P6. He's fighting away with Peter McCann, so there's one McCann in P2. Here's the other McCann in P6. He's got Rob Moore right behind him. Another cluster going on here between these guys, and they're now they're keeping it clean so far. There's going to be a little wide moment from those guys, but these are the most experienced of the lot of coming through here now. So you got Barble at the head of the train, McCann in the second place, then Jason Cooper, Nicky Meredith, Rory O'Shea is your train coming through. We're on the final lap, by the way, Austin. That's gone by in a total flash. But here now comes Rob Moore trying to look at the inside of Jason Cooper. Nicky Meredith having a cheeky look on the outside, but he can't quite pull alongside there. He gets run out wide. Rory O'Shea trying to come back at him now. Rob Moore in the bumper of Jason Cooper as they head now. It's down towards the Wellington Straight, and it has been one of the most hectic races I've ever seen in this championship, one of the most chaotic races I've ever seen in this championship, as now you can see Rob Moore flash the lights, trying to pull to the inside of Jason Cooper. Peter McCann just hanging on for dear life to a top 10 spot. Rob Barble doing an excellent job there, P6. Thomas Series, Niall Murray, Jordan Kelly, Yamantis, as they filed through in Lovefield, on board with Rob Moore as they filed through. This is more like it, the fighting that's going on right here on the final lap of this race. But coming up now towards Copse Corner for the final time, is there going to be any moves made between these guys? Rob Barble, this will be a great result for him to hang on to P6. McCann as well.
Watch out on how wide they go. Jason Cooper keeping that line very nicely. McCann goes extremely wide. There's our 7th incident as we head through Beckett's Chapel. It's a send by Moore heading through Maggots. And he's got a good line. He's sending it into Chapel. Very daring. Has to get onto the brakes. Meredith almost gets into the back of him as they get back onto the throttle. as they head down Hanger Straight, but up in the lead with
Yeah.
no one by far near him, taking the win of race number 2 for Turn 3 Motorsports. It is Wayne Douglas.
Move for second in the final corner. Jordan Kelly, side by side, he's got second in the last corner. Jordan Kelly into P2, what a drive. Yamanta's P3. Wayne Douglas makes it 6 different winners in a row in the championship. But Jordan Kelly, what a drive to P2. And he absolutely deserves that. Niall Murray P4, Thomas Series, Rob Barwell, McCann, Cooper, Moore, and Meredith are your top 10. And we'll see what the stewards are going to say about all of that absolute chaos. Back to here, Dave Maguire. He's had a bit of a quiet one out front, I have to say, in the GT4. Here he comes through the last corner. This is his second win in a row, actually. So he comes through and he will
20
win
seconds in the
in
lead.
Silverstone. Yeah, it doesn't tell the story of the race, though. He comes across the line. Maguire
No.
wins GT4. But can we keep our eye on Chris Spaceman McCann, if at all possible?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
this is the most deserving podium I've ever seen in my experience on iRacing. Coming through the last corner, Chris McCann, P2 from space, back down to earth and into P2. Great job from him. And
Race
a quick
1.
shout out as well to Lawrence Dusoswa, who's going to cross the line for his second podium. Very unexpected, but he takes another podium to add to his tally. But total chaos, and I feel sorry for the stewards.
Yeah, the stewards, I'm glad we have 3 of them in the booth today because they're definitely going to be needing the crowd up there. But I really want to talk about Christopher McCann. Race number 1 was sitting at a podium spot. The 2 leaders in front of him get into an incident. He sees them both get into it with the GTE traffic, and he sees the car in front of him head off into the wall, and he's like, this is my moment. I'm going to get up in a second. And then coming out of nowhere, Maguire comes across track, and unfortunately he was in the wrong place, wrong time, and well, he visited Elon Musk's Tesla that's floating up there, and well, he came back down from space and came back into second place in race number 2. Christopher McCann, oh my goodness, if that's not a redemption drive, that is a massive drive for Christopher McCann.
Yeah, what a legend, Chris. Considering he's only been in sim racing for less than a year, I mean that's a hell of a story. Race 1 in space and race 2 in P2. But there it is. Wayne Douglas wins in race number 2 from the pole. No issues for him whatsoever. 6th different winner in a row. Jordan Kelly. That's one of the drivers of the season there from Jordan, P2. Niall Murray adds on the podium. Actually, Yamantis, I just saw, got a 42-second penalty on the line, and Niall Murray grabs the podium. Thomas Series, Rob Barwell, Peter McCann, Jason Cooper, Rob Moore, Nicky Meredith, and Rory O'Shea make out your top 10. Then it's Yamamoto, Malone, Lyons, Dowling, Graben, Stack, Yamantis, McManus, Faulkner, Collier, then Keith Dempsey, Owen Murray, Michael Devaney, Cundalis, Holman, Dempsey, all these guys involved in instance, Malin, McKenna, Hederman, Sivas, Ingram, and Evan Walsh didn't take the start of this race, but that was madness in that pro race, but a little tiny bit less chaotic. I won't say too little chaotic because there was a huge incident again. But Dave Maguire is your winner. Chris McCann, legend, P2. Lawrence Dusoswa in P3 again. A great job from Lawrence. Mark Burney, Alex Denning, cross the line for P5. Damien McMullen, Nathan Healy, Kevin Shine, Evan Griffin, Harry McGovern, Jean Montero, Victor Cullen, Shane Connolly, and Brendan Stone are your classified finishers. And non-finish, actually non-finish for nobody. Everybody managed to cross the line for that one. But yeah, the pro-am class a little bit less chaotic, but they got caught up in the 5 wide moments down the Hanger Straight, which is not something you want to do. But I think if you're like me, Austin, I want to hear from some of the drivers.
Oh, I definitely want to hear from a few of these drivers. I know we have Jordan Kelly and Wayne Douglas currently waiting for us in the interview room. You have your pick of the share. I'm going to give that one over to you. I'm certainly waiting for hopefully Chris McCann comes in here because not every day you get to talk to a spaceman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's have a chat with Wayne Douglas since it's his first win of the season. Let's try again, Wayne. Wayne, good to have you with us. Race 2 win. I don't think you probably saw much of the chaos from where you were. You led from the get-go, but probably one of the more chaotic races of the season. But a great job from yourself, and you make it the 6th different winner in a row in the championship. So well done.
It wasn't too bad actually. Myself and Tom Ingram went off in the first race. We ran like 4th and 5th, so that gave me the reverse grid pole. And once we got around the first lap, that was it really, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, just of course the GT4s. It was a little bit more tricky than Spa. So how was it trying to make sure you negotiated all the GT4s safely?
I think everyone's starting to get more used to it, aren't they? So trying to get past them in the straights and be patient in the corners.
And now we've had 2 rounds today, and 2 weeks' time we're heading to again a totally different track, Bathurst. What's your feelings going into that? That's going to be probably one of the trickier ones with the traffic.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to make it. I didn't do any of the rounds. I think I did the first one. I've just been doing a bit of practice for work, so I'll try to get on to Bathurst. Yeah, it's one of the favourite tracks to watch the V8s and stuff on, so it should be a fabulous event for everybody.
Well, Wayne, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the race to win, and hopefully we'll speaking to you again soon.
Cheers.
That was Wayne Douglas, a man of few words, but also a man who's of very few words is Jordan Kelly. So we're going to have a chat with Jordan in here. We're going to try Jordan. Jordan, welcome back in again. Absolute chaos in race 2 there, but luck didn't quite go your way in race number 1 with the slowdown penalty, but race 2 kind of just came to you with all the chaos. But congratulations on P2.
Oh, I'm over the moon with them results. Like coming from 11th to 4th was just trying to get through traffic and made the most of it and stuff. But just them 2 races were unreal.
Yeah, but I think it was one of the more chaotic ones I've actually seen on the channel, in the championship altogether. So, yeah, just talk us through everything that was going on, because you had a cluster of M8s in front of you and a cluster of GT4s trying to make their way through past each other. So, I mean, how was it just trying to hold yourself back and make sure you got through everything cleanly?
I kept trying to look ahead to see where the M4s were kind of going, and then seeing where the M8s were in front were going. So I kind of tried a different kind of option, tried to undercut. Some of them were trying to go around outside and stuff, but just try to keep out of bother and stuff is the main one there. I don't think I got any contact in race 1 or race 2 apart from that at the start there, but it was tough to get through them, but still over the moon.
Good stuff. Well, you definitely extend the championship lead. I know, even though Josh took the win in race 1, he had a pretty poor race 2, so you should still be at the top of the championship as well. Bathurst in 2 weeks, Jordan. That's going to be, I think, an even tougher challenge with the narrowness of the walls and everything. So, how are you feeling heading into that?
Just we're done. I've done a right few practice laps around there and stuff. Not in M8 or nothing, but GT3 cars and stuff. But it's going to be a tough track to get around M4s and stuff. But it's going to be a race to keep the nose clean, no matter where I finish. I think I just need to try to get top 10s now to get the points in the bag. But I'd say it's going to be very hectic.
So it's always nice to hear a happy Jordan. So yeah, congratulations, Jordan. Great results today. Still in the lead of the championship. So well done, and I'm sure we'll be speaking to you again in 2 weeks' time.
Thanks, Jack. Chat to you.
So Jordan Kelly, that's actually the most I've ever got out of Jordan. So he's obviously very happy. And finally for today, in better circumstances, we're going to have a chat with Josh Malin. Josh, welcome to the commentary box. I think we're speaking to you in slightly better circumstances than we did in Spa, of course, disconnecting from the lead. You managed to get a win today, but race 2, total opposite. But I think you've got something off the list anyway. You finally got the win, so well done.
Yeah, finally, thank you. It's I was really happy with my pace in that first race. I just managed to jump off the start and just carry on driving away from the pack in race 1. But race 2, Well, I'll let the stewards decide, but obviously, as I'm sure you can imagine, I'm not best pleased. It's going up the inside, and all of a sudden, I get sent off into Northampton town centre. Um, so it's by no means ideal, and it gave me a lot of suspension damage, which which dropped me back down the pack massively. Came in for a fast repair, but it was no point really. I do think Keith and Peter, who are my main sort of championship rivals at the moment, along with Jordan, who finished well, he did very well. So good on him. Well done, Jordan. But yeah, not ideal, and we'll just have to take the next race.
Yeah, do talk to us about that suspension topic, because we were riding on board with you, and I mean, you must have had your heart in your mouth coming through Maggots and Beckett's with GT4s coming the other side of you, and you're fully locked to the right hand side going through a left hander. That mustn't have been nice.
No, not really. The nature of this, like when you get suspension damage in iRacing, it's incredibly twitchy. And yeah, I just wanted to stay out of the GT4's way. So that's why I sort of went across the grass in avoidance, but managed to get to the pits without taking anyone out. So I suppose that was a plus from from that incident. But hey ho, it is what it is, and we move forward to where's the next one? I think it's the Nordschleife.
Not quite. You've got to go through Bathurst first, Josh.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I've got it mixed up.
Yeah, no, we've got Nordschleife in a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, that's going to be a 2-hour endurance race, but Bathurst in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, Josh, better circumstances today slightly, but congratulations on finally getting the win, and hopefully we'll be speaking to you again shortly.
No worries. Cheers, Jack. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. So we had a load of interviews last time, 2 weeks ago, but only a couple coming in today because I'm sure there's quite a lot of frustrated drivers and again probably a lot of frustrated stewards today. But pity that unfortunately Kevin had to leave so quickly. But I think Austin, it must be something with you. You show up and that happens. So
I'm an agent of chaos, you know. Anywhere I show up, just everything just goes bam. You know,
Yeah.
I'm famous for cursing people I cheer for, and I was just cheering for a good, clean race. That didn't happen. Well, in the GT4s,
anyway,
then race 2, no.
yeah. It's one to chalk up for sure. But either way,
It's definitely going to be a memorable race.
Absolutely, and Chris McCann has gained himself a nickname. So any race where a driver gains a nickname, that is a beautiful race and deserves to go down in history. So Chris Spaceman McCann, we salute you. But yeah, so again, big thanks to Austin for jumping in last minute. And we wish Kevin all the best. I know it wasn't the nicest of circumstances that he had to leave so soon. But yeah, that does it for the BMW M4 and M8 competition for this week. That was round 5 and 6 you just witnessed. Round 7 and 8, double round once again at Bathurst. So we've mentioned it a couple of times. And we head to Bathurst. So if you thought the traffic was bad at Silverstone, it's going to get worse in Bathurst. So make sure you join us then in 2 weeks' time. Thanks to Austin, thanks to Samily for running the cameras. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. And join us once again on the iRacing Esports Network, on Epic Racing TV and on the Digital Motorsports YouTube channel for the BMW M4 and M8 competition sponsored by Mondello Park in association with Motorsport Ireland. Make sure to check out the link in the description to win yourself a driving experience in Mondello Park. It's going to be fantastic. But yeah, and we'll see you at the same time in 2 weeks for round 7 and 8 from Bathurst. Thank you and good night.